Okay, so I'll wait another minute or two again to let some people get in. Hopefully. Sorry about the link situation. Okay, so I'd asked some people, so while we wait for more people to jump in, how has the learning been so far with the video and then doing some homework and then coming in here to ask questions? Will that type of format seem like it'll work for you guys as far as finishing up our curriculum? Does that seem like that? And that amount of work, is that okay with everything that's going on?
Hi, I can speak for myself. You're the only teacher so far I've had that's done video. So, I don't know, the rest of them just been online, kind of working on our own, trying to watch. Like Mr. Campbell for econ, he linked a ton of videos for us to watch. Um, and for physio, Miss Sanford, I mean, we're just kind of doing our notes on our own, and then we're like posting in discussion boards in classroom.
Oh, awesome.
So it's like going okay. It's just hard because you don't really have anyone forcing you to pay attention in
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, the senioritis is going to be at an all-time high right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. All right, Ella said that the notes are pretty much the same as in person. Good. I try to explain as much as I can, just talking to myself, that so that everybody, like the common questions that come up, that you guys will have the answers to those. I think the link is still not working. I feel like I still have a lot of people not in here who are trying to get in. So let me go back over here really quick. Sorry, hang with me for a second. Oh, all those comments are trying to find. Okay, so I shared it in the comments so that hopefully we can get everybody else on the right link. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go forward so we're not on here for forever. I'll kind of recap what I said at the beginning. This should be recorded, so even if people weren't able to get on, that I should be able to share this in the Google Classroom or anything, just to recap if we go over anything. A couple of announcements too that I know some people will probably have questions on. I will, like for third period, I put the tests into the grade book before I left on Friday. For fifth period, I haven't finished grading the tests, but that will go in as soon as I have graded it. I can do Aries from home, so I will be entering that at some point when I get to that. Also, your projects that you guys turned in before we left, those I will also grade and enter into the grade book. I just have not gotten to that. It's a little crazy with 3 young kids in the house. We are also like now homeschooling them for like 4 or 5 hours a day, trying to get them all caught up on all their classwork. So it's a little crazy right now, but we'll figure it out. And so today was going to be questions on specifically means that you guys went over in the notes. There is going to be a quiz on Monday. It is just multiple choice questions. It's in the AP classroom, so make sure you haven't quite logged into that in a while, so make sure you can get your AP classroom link in there. I also set a time limit for it. So once you have an open window it opens at 9 a.m., it's going to close at 10 p.m. So sometime on Monday, you have to go in there and answer the questions. You have a time limit though of 25 minutes. So once that 25 minutes is over, even if you're not done, it's going to close it. The 25 minutes should be plenty of time to do those. It's either 12 or 13 multiple choice questions. So it should be totally fine. But just watch that for that time limit. Also, I'm going to ask that you do this to the best of your own ability and not share the questions with other people, which there are lots of people who have integrity and will do that on their own. There are some people who do not. So I would encourage you to just do this on your own. Obviously, that is up to you to enforce and do to the best of your ability. So yes, so we'll see moving forward what that looks like for testing as well. Yeah, so today I'm going to do, I put the outline in the class website. So on my school website, the outline is on there. I will post a little video filling out the means and some of the stuff. Would you guys rather me teach that to you or just upload the answers? How do we feel about that? I don't know what is the best use of your time. Would you rather just copy that down, or you think it would be helpful for me to do a video of me explaining that? What do you guys think? What would honestly be better for you guys? So you can comment in the chat if you want to. Just type in the chat what you think. Okay, I know you guys like to just do it quick and easy, but I'm thinking with what we're doing right now, I was thinking a video might be better. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do a little video of the outline, at least the part that we have done so far. You would need to, you can either print that out, I put it on my classroom website, or you can just, you know, copy the format and do it on a piece of paper. I don't care how you get that done. Okay, so are there questions based on what I taught you guys about means? So I also tried to teach you about the calculator, getting the degrees of freedom in the calculator, as well as doing the 2 sample mean problems. So are there specific questions either from the notes or from the homework that people have? I grabbed a calculator. I don't have the calculator that I can put up on the screen, but I can at least show you like my screen here so you can see it. So I'll wait for a second. So when are you supposed to use the calculated degrees of freedom versus the approximation, the estimate? You can use those interchangeably whenever you want. So if you'd rather use the estimates, great. You're going to get the same values slightly as you would with the actual calculated degrees of freedom. If, for example, you forget, assuming we're still taking an AP exam, I don't know at this point. So on the AP exam, maybe you forget the rules for the degrees of freedom, but the calculator gives you those degrees of freedom. You can use those. And you can use either one whenever you want. So even if you're writing all of your work as a free response question, you could use the calculated degrees of freedom. So you can use them either way. And so maybe I will just show you real quick in case the video was hard. So this is the data that we did from the notes. So this is just list 1 and list 2. And then what you do, just in case people need a visual, you go to stats and then over to tests, and we're going to grab the 2 sample t-tests. See that? And so I explained in the video, but here we have, you can either do data, which I have the data saved in list 1 and list 2, or if you go over and hit stats and hit enter, you can enter like your sample one mean, standard deviation, and n, and then the same for the other one. So if you're given those summary statistics, like a table of here's the mean and the standard deviation, the n for two different like treatment groups, you can enter that still, regardless of whether you know the data or not. The one we did in the notes, we did a not equal to test. So I have that highlighted. If you wanted to do something else, you just go over and then hit enter and it'll choose a different one. But we're doing not equal to test. And for everything, you always want to keep the pooled as no. The no is, well, pooled would say that you have to have the same standard deviation for both treatment groups, and we don't require that. So you can always just keep that as no. Okay. So when you calculate it, it'll also come up with, at the top, you see it says like not equal to. That'll remind you which test you're doing. And then it's got the test statistic, p-value, and then there's your degrees of freedom. So this one is like, I'm trying to hold it so you can see the light, like 9.5 something, where if we used our approximation, it was 10. So either one would get you the correct value. Same with how I grade it and the AP exam grades it. They would both give you full credit, no matter if you use the approximation or use the calculator degree of freedom. So that part doesn't matter for that. Any questions on the calculator, getting that data in your calculator, or how to do the test on your calculator? Any questions? You can just pop in the chat if you do have a question. And so, just to recap real quick, there's all the other tests and confidence intervals and everything else in that same location, so stat tests. If you scroll down, then they have the intervals, so T interval, 2 sample interval. It has everything in there. But usually I don't show you until this point because the work that you guys do tends to suck really bad. You all know that you can use the calculator, you forget formulas, you forget all sorts of junk. So use it as a tool. Don't be dependent on this completely, okay? But obviously you get your calculator on everything, every quiz, every test, AP exam, so use it as a tool. Yes, Nate, yes. The quiz on Monday right now is going to count in the quiz category of your grade. We're going to try to do some assessments, and we'll see how that goes for this one. I picked questions that I thought you would definitely be able to solve if you've done the worksheets. So it should not be super hard, I would not think. But just to make sure everybody's in the right location, the timing worked okay with the 25 minutes, all of that stuff, to check through that. Oh, Riley, you just got the audio working. Sorry about that. You can use either anytime. It doesn't matter. You can, if you're solving a free response question, you can use the calculator degrees of freedom or the approximation whenever you want. I think I got all the questions in this one. Oh, how will you be checking the worksheets? I have not quite figured that part out yet. I was hoping that if I put it as an assignment in the Google Classroom, can you guys share a picture if I put it as an assignment? Because I know when we've done the projects, it makes a copy of each document for everybody. I don't want everyone to have to write that out. But if I put it as an assignment in the Google Classroom, can you submit like your picture attached to that assignment? Yeah, you guys can do that? Okay. I just wasn't sure if you would be able to attach something there. Perfect. So I will put that, I'll still put the worksheets on my website if that's easier, but I'll add them as an assignment in the Google Classroom, and then you can just take a picture of your worksheet and upload it into that assignment, and then I'll be able to see that. Yeah, that works too, Chase. You can totally do that. I just don't want to, I might have to upload them as a PDF because the notation doesn't always translate over. Like when I do like U1 in the Google Doc, it may not read that math notation as it does in a Word file. So I don't know, there might be some like weirdness there. So I'll see how that works out. So I might have to save them as a PDF and upload them as a PDF so it doesn't make it look weird. Same with like XBAR and things like that. Some of those things don't just switch over into a Google Doc all that easily. But yeah, so for right now, we'll do that where we'll upload a picture of your assignments in there. So I'll go back and do that for the means worksheet number 1 and the means worksheet number 2. So we'll have it all for this chapter where you can upload that picture, and we'll at least go from there. Okay. Are there any specific questions that you want me to work out? Any of the problems or any of the questions on the worksheet that you guys had for homework? I mean, I think I posted the answers to that, but are there questions that you would like me to go over? I can write on this screen, so I can just write it right on here if you have questions. Any questions? Questions? Oh, thank you, Angelina. Yes. So telling the difference between a matched pairs problem and a 2-sample problem is always the hardest part of this, for sure. I need to turn my email off. I don't know if you guys can hear that, like beeping. Sorry, it's so annoying. But yes, that will always be the hardest part of probably figuring out is which strategy to start with for these type of problems. So one thing that you can tell for sure if, so let me just write this down so I'm not just like talking, I don't know. So for this, for 2-sample procedures, especially the way the data is presented, you can have 2 different ends. So even when you look at the way the problem is set up, if they have 2 different ends, it can't be a matched pairs. Okay, so this would have to be like a 2-sample procedure. So just by the way the data is set up is usually a good indicator of which type of problem it's going to be. If you have the same sample size, so both of them have the same sample size, then you have a choice. It can be a matched pairs, and when it's a matched pairs, then the data is linked by that subject, and a lot of times this is like a before and after, or like 2 different treatments, or like a pre-test and post-test, and they experience, or a taste test, so they tried 2 things like that. But it's linked by that subject. So a lot of times you'll see this like subject 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then they'll have, sorry, this is like really messy, but like 2 variables, like variable 1 or variable 2, like treatment 1, treatment 2, and you can tell that this is each person is getting like 2 values. And then, hold on, I'm running out of room here. This a little bit. Scroll down really. I don't know how to this works. Okay, I can't really scroll down, so never mind. But otherwise, if they're two independent, so you're having then you have two separate samples. So they can be different genders, they could be two different treatment groups. If you had just two separate samples, even if they have the same sample size, they're like the first value in the table doesn't really mean anything side by side when you're looking at the two variables. It just happens to be like the first record, the second record, and the third record. So on the means worksheet number 1, there were a lot more of those where you were trying to do a matched pair situation, whereas on worksheet number 2 that you guys just did, the one on the back, this one at the top, so this is what I'm talking about. This has the same sample size, but the problem or the variables are the BMI from recent winners and the BMI from the 1920s or 1930s. So when you look at this, these are two totally different variables. So this first record, they really have nothing to do with each other. It's just the first value in the data set. So like 19.5 and 20.4, those aren't linked by anything. We're just listing the two data sets. So that would be a 2-sample procedure. So I hope that helps. Does that help you, Angelina? And that is a very good question, because that for sure is one of the hardest things in this chapter, is telling the difference between a matched pairs and a 2 independent sample problem. And that will continue to be a challenge. Those come up on the AP exam a lot. And it's best if you can figure out the correct procedure to do. However, if you mess it up and you do the wrong procedure, you still get most of the work correct. You just get partial credit for that part. So it's not the end of the world if you mess them up. However, we would like you to be able to identify them correctly. If there's an experiment with a control and an experimental group, yes, it's going to be a 2-sample, because the people, like the 20 people in the control group and the 20 people in the experimental group, those people aren't the same. So like the first person in each group really has nothing to do with each other. You're just listing data 1 through 20 and 1 through 20, but the 20 people aren't linked in any way, if that makes sense. Okay, and then back up to Riley. When finding a t-value for those problems, do you square the standard deviation, then divide it by the n, or do you divide it by n? You square it first. So your formula, let me move this over here, for the t is like x bar 1 minus x bar 2 over standard deviation. So standard deviation 1 squared divided by n1. Standard deviation 2 squared divided by n2. So if I was going to enter this in the calculator, that's exactly what, just type it exactly like it would, you do x, whatever the value is. This is how I would write it in the calculator. Divide by square root the standard deviation 1 squared divided by n1 plus standard deviation 2 squared divided by n2. That's exactly how I would type it in the calculator. So yeah, the standard deviation is squared first before you divide by n. You're welcome. Okay, are there other questions? Those are really good questions. Are there any other questions that you guys have? Anything? It takes a minute for it to pop up in the chat, so I don't want to close it before I hear from everybody. So I will post a video doing the outline, and then you guys have a quiz on Monday at some point. And so we're going to keep with the structure of kind of Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I put that also on my Google or my classroom website on the calendar. I put what we're doing. So there's a quiz on Monday. Wednesday, then I'll post a video talking about proportions, and you'll have proportions homework. And then Friday, we'll pop in here again, and I'll do another call at 9:30 to talk about proportions questions. You'll receive any assigned, oh, like how will I grade it? So we said this just a little bit ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the assignment in the Google Classroom, and then I'm going to have you upload an attachment, like a picture of your completed assignment. Okay, so so that you can get credit for it. So I'm just gonna put that in the Google Classroom, and then you'll add a picture of you with like your name on the top of you completing your homework, and that's the way I will be able to keep track of that. Do I have a final day when I think the chapter 13 notes will be done? So next week we should probably finish them. We just have to do proportions. So I'll probably just do one video, just proportions, to keep it all easy. And then we'll do next Friday, so the 27th, I'll do another call where we can pop on and answer any questions. So then we'll do that. So somebody else asking, can we do notes like this on Zoom? Yeah, we can totally do a live call. Would you guys rather do a live call so that you could ask questions, or would you rather me just upload it to YouTube? What would a live call would be good? Okay, well, I can do that. Okay, we'll do that. I'm pretty sure I can, I'll figure out after this. I'm pretty sure I can record it and then I can upload it to YouTube. Yeah, so that you guys can have it afterwards. So I'll just do that live. Perfect. Yeah, I tried to record it, so we'll see how this one went. Hopefully that worked out well. So yeah, then I can upload that to YouTube for all of that. Let me see, I think I missed a question. Some of you were gone on 3/13. Could we also upload a pic of our year review number 2? Yes, definitely. So I'll put, let me get it to myself. So in the Google Classroom, I'll just do everything that would be due for chapter 13. So the year review number 2, means worksheet 1 and 2. And then future assignments too. So I'll assign another year review. Those are all on my website, but I will post it in the Google Classroom. But the answers are all on my website under year review. So they're all there. So we can do that. Yeah. So I think I gave out year review number 3. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember. I don't know where I am. I think I gave out year review number 3. Is that true? Okay. So unless you were gone on that Wednesday, but I think I gave out, perfect. So we'll start with year review number 4, like assigned today, and then that'll be due like a week, I guess. Yeah. So again, we haven't heard if the EP exams are canceled or on. I really hope they're still on. We're so close to the end that I really hope you guys will have the opportunity to take the test and get your college credit that you guys have worked so hard for all year. But again, I have no control over that. Oh, they're releasing it later this afternoon. That's awesome. I've been looking at their website, but I haven't seen anything certain. I think the governor declared that we shouldn't have to do the state testing, which doesn't really apply to you guys, but even if we go back, so we'll see. Oh, that's awesome that they're going to find, she said they're going to try to find ways to do it online. That would be fantastic. That would work. Wow, that would be great for you guys. I hope they figure out a way to get that to happen, because yeah, we're so close to the end that we're like, want you guys to be able to get that credit. Good. Awesome. And so we'll try this kind of layout, and then so next week we'll talk about proportions. Next Wednesday then I'll do a live call, and I'll give you hopefully the correct link to that, and we'll just do the notes live in here about proportions and record that. And so if you're not available when I do that, then I'll upload that to YouTube. And yes, wrapping that up. Any other last minute thoughts about that or questions moving forward? Okay, so just I will put kind of a layout in the calendar on my website so that you guys kind of know the plan of what we're doing and when the stuff is. I mean, I'll keep entering stuff into the Google Classroom, but sometimes the calendar view, I don't know, is helpful. All right, thank you guys all for logging in. It was good to chat with you guys. Such weird times right now. But I hope you guys all stay healthy, stay home, and at least it's a beautiful day today, so enjoy some sunshine. And yes, we will be doing this again next week. Okay. Yeah, our family is doing well. It's a little crazy with the 3 kids at home, having them have to do homeschool, and we're the teachers now, so we just took a break from that today because it was like 4 or 5 hours of homeschool teaching at the kitchen table, and I was going nuts with my children, and they're stressed and I'm stressed, so it wasn't ideal, but we're getting through. We're getting through. So yeah, it is what it is. All right, you guys. Well, I will talk with you guys next week, and maybe I'll just do, we'll see. I'll post a YouTube video of the outline, since you guys don't have that. I was going to do it right now, but since you guys probably don't have that printed out right now, I'll post a little YouTube video of me doing that for you guys. Okay. Well, have a good week. Don't forget to take that quiz on Monday, and I will talk to you guys next week. All right. Bye, you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy.